She was fired by email. No warning, no explanation. Just a cold subject line. Termination, effective immediately. Now, Clara Bennett sits alone in a sleek, glass-walled conference room, her faded cardigan a stark contrast to the marble floors and designer suits around her. Across the table, Adrian Cross smirks, tapping his Rolex. "Let's be honest, Clara, you're not even worth the paper this memo's printed on." She doesn't flinch. Instead, she leans forward, voice steady. "Do you know who I am?" The room stills. A beat, two. Adrian laughs, a sharp, hollow sound. But Clara's eyes don't waver. Somewhere, a security camera blinks red. This isn't over. It's just beginning. Clara doesn't belong here. Not in this boardroom, not in this world of tailored arrogance. Yet there she sits, spine straight, as Adrian Cross leans back, savoring his own cruelty. "You know," he drawls, "most people beg when they're humiliated. You're different. Different. No one's that calm when their livelihood's just been shredded." Around the table, eyes dart, executives, investors, all waiting for her to crack. But Clara's fingers rest flat on the table, steady as stone. A flash drive glints beside her laptop. She hasn't touched it. Why would she? She's not here to fight, or is she? The room hums with unspoken questions. Who is this woman? Why does she stare at Adrian like she's already won? Somewhere, a phone buzzes. A notification silenced too quickly. Clara's gaze flicks to it. A name lights up the screen. Julian, Hart. Adrian follows her eyes, smirks. "Sentimental?" he taunts. She doesn't answer. She doesn't have to. The silence speaks louder than words. This isn't a firing. It's a setup. But for what? Clara Bennett doesn't belong here. Not in this boardroom, not in this world of tailored arrogance. But she's here anyway, spine straight, cardigan, frayed at the cuffs, as Adrian Cross lounges across the table like a king surveying peasants. His cufflinks glint, gold, monogrammed, as he gestures to the marble walls, the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline. "This," he says, voice dripping with mock generosity, "is the view real people get to enjoy." Around the table, executives smirk, eyes flicking between Clara's worn flats and the $2,000 Italian loafers on display. She doesn't flinch, doesn't blink, just sits, hands folded, as Adrian leans in. "You know," he purrs, "most people beg when they're humiliated. You're different. Different? No one's that calm when their livelihood's just been shredded." Yet Clara's fingers rest flat on the table, steady as stone. A flash drive glints beside her laptop. She hasn't touched it. Why would she? She's not here to fight. Or is she? The room hums with unspoken questions. Who is this woman? Why? Does she stare at Adrian like she's already won? Somewhere, a phone buzzes. A notification silenced too quickly. Clara's gaze flicks to it. A name lights up the screen. Julian Hart. Adrian follows her eyes, smirks. "Sentimental?" he taunts. She doesn't answer. She doesn't have to. The silence speaks louder than words. A janitor passes outside the glass wall, mop in hand. Clara's eyes linger on the man, his faded uniform, the quiet dignity in his posture. For a heartbeat, Adrian's smirk falters. He clears his throat. "You're wasting our time, Clara," he snaps. "You don't belong here." She finally speaks. "Neither do you." The room stills. Adrian's jaw tightens. A junior analyst chokes on her coffee. Clara's voice, when it comes again, is steel wrapped in velvet. "But you'll never see it." Above the door, a security camera blinks red. It's been recording since she walked in. Clara's silence lingers, sharp as a blade, until Adrian Cross leans forward, fingers drumming the table. "You know," he says, voice dripping with mock concern, Some people thank their employers before getting tossed out like yesterday's coffee grounds. He flicks a hand toward the door. You're not even worth the ceremony of a proper firing. A junior analyst snickers. Another executive checks his phone, thumb scrolling. Adrian's smirk widens. Tell me, Clara, what's your plan B? Uber? Walmart? Or are you just going to sit at home crying into your cat food? The table erupts in laughter, shrill, artificial. Across the room, the security camera blinks red. Clara doesn't move. Her gaze stays locked on Adrian, unblinking. But something in her stillness unsettles him. He pushes back from the table, stands, and circles behind her chair. What's the matter? He taunts, resting a hand on her shoulder. No dramatic. Breakdown? No, please, give me another chance. She shrugs off his touch. You're wasting your breath. Am I? Adrian snaps his fingers. A younger employee, a woman in a crisp blazer, hesitates, then slides a paper napkin across the table, printed in bold letters, charity case. The room hushes. Adrian grins. You're not even qualified to be here, Clara. Face it. You're a charity case. Always have been. Always will be. He gestures to the flash drive beside her laptop. What's that? A sob story? Proof you cried in the break room? Clara glances at the napkin, doesn't touch it. You're predictable, she says quietly. Adrian's jaw tightens. Oh, really? He pulls out his phone, taps the screen. A second later, Clara's phone buzzes. She glances down. A notification pops up, a link to a tweet. When the janitor thinks she's CEO material. Charity case Clara attached. Is a photo of her, hunched at her desk, frayed cardigan, a half-eaten granola bar beside her keyboard. Someone's photoshopped a crown on her head. Adrian laughs. Meet your new fan club! The room erupts. Phones rise, screens glowing. Someone snaps a photo of Clara in real time. She doesn't flinch, doesn't blink, just watches as the digital mob grows. You think this matters? She says. Adrian's grin fades. You're nothing, he hisses. A ghost in a cubicle. A nobody. A junior developer clears his throat. She did redesign the entire CRM interface last quarter. He mutters. Adrian whirls on him. She was told to do that, like a trained monkey. Clara finally speaks. You're afraid. Adrian freezes. Afraid someone like me could prove you're not special. Just lucky. Her voice is ice. So you humiliate, you mock, you erase. She leans forward. But you're wrong. A beat. Adrian slams his hand on the table. Wrong? Wrong? He snatches the napkin, shoves it toward her. This is who you are now, Clara. A joke. A meme. She stares at the napkin. Finally, she reaches out, picks it up, holds it like it's filth. No, she says softly. This is who you are. The security camera blinks again. Somewhere, a phone buzzes. Clara's lips curve, just slightly. The game is only beginning. The door slams open. All heads turn. Eleanor Voss strides in, silver hair pulled back, heels clicking like a metronome. Of doom. The room stiffens. Adrian Cross straightens, his smirk faltering. Ms. Voss, he says, voice suddenly strained. We weren't expecting you. Eleanor doesn't acknowledge him. Her gaze locks on Clara. For a heartbeat, nothing. Then a slight nod, a signal. Clara finally speaks. You wanted proof? She slides the flash drive across the table. Adrian snorts. Of what? Your incompetence? He grabs the drive, tosses it to a tech analyst. Plug it in. Let's see. The masterpiece this disaster created. The analyst hesitates. Eleanor's voice cuts through the silence like glass. Do it. A click. The boardroom screen flickers. A document appears. Confidential. Subject Executive Succession Plan. Phase the third. To Julian Hart. From Eleanor Voss. Date March 15, 2023. Clara Bennett's credentials verified. Final authorization pending. Adrian freezes. What the hell is this? Eleanor steps forward. Your company's new chief technology officer, she says evenly. Effective immediately. A beat. Then chaos. What? Adrian roars. That's impossible. She's a glorified admin. Eleanor's eyes narrow. Is that right? She taps her phone. The screen shifts. A new document flashes. Employee records, Clara Bennett. Dates, project codes, and signatures scroll down. One name repeats, Julian Hart. Adrian's face pales. This is a forgery. Clara leans back. Check the metadata. It's time-stamped 3 years ago, before your IPO. The junior analyst leans in, squinting at the screen. The encryption, it's internal, pre-merger protocol. Only Hart's team had access. Adrian stumbles back. Hart's dead. Eleanor's voice is cold. Not anymore. The lights dim. A live feed erupts on the screen. Julian Hart, alive, sitting in a sleek high-rise office. His voice booms through the room. Hello, Adrian. Adrian's knees buckle. Julian's gaze sweeps the table. You've been testing Clara's loyalty for weeks. I've been testing yours. He gestures to a second screen. Footage rolls, security camera angles, Clara's laptop cam, even Adrian's own phone logs. Every insult, every smirk, every whispered jab about her charity case status. No, Adrian whispers. Julian's tone hardens. You assumed she was beneath you because she looked beneath you. You mocked her because she didn't fight. You humiliated her because you thought she couldn't destroy you. His eyes narrow. You were wrong. Clara stands. For the first time, she smiles. Eleanor flips open a folder, pages rustling like thunder. Ms. Bennett's contract includes a clause you overlooked, Mr. Cross. Clause 12B. Any individual or group found conspiring to undermine the CTO shall forfeit all equity, salary, and corporate privileges. Adrian gags. You can't, Eleanor interrupts. We can, and we will. She nods to the door. Security steps in. The junior analyst whispers, This is a coup. Clara turns to Adrian, voice soft. No, this is arithmetic. The camera above the door blinks one last time. Then, the red light dies. The boardroom screen pulses with grainy footage. Clara's desk, months earlier. Her face fills the frame, weary but focused, typing furiously. A timestamp reads June 14th, 2022. Eleanor Voss taps her phone. The room fills with Clara's voice, clear, steady, from the video. System integrity confirmed. Backdoor protocols locked. Initiating Phase 3. Adrian Cross gags. This is a deep fake! He spins toward Clara, spittle flying. You think we're stupid? Clara doesn't blink. Check the server logs. They'll show I've been running diagnostics on your entire network since before your IPO. She gestures to Julian's live feed. Ask him. Julian Hart's eyes narrow. The logs are real, Adrian. You just never bothered to look. He swipes a hand and the footage shifts. A montage of Adrian in the break room, smirking with colleagues, mocking Clara's pathetic attempts to play tech genius. A junior developer mouths, "Oh my God," as Adrian's face floods the screen, mid-laugh. She thinks she's one of us. It's hilarious. Eleanor flips open a second file, pages rustling like thunder. Ms. Bennett's contract includes a clause you overlooked, Mr. Cross. Clause 12B. Any individual or group found conspiring to undermine the CTO shall forfeit all equity, salary, and corporate privileges. Adrian staggers back, knocking over a chair. You can't! This isn't binding! Eleanor's voice is ice. It is when you signed off on it. She slams a document on the table, Adrian's digital signature glowing at the bottom. You approved her promotion, you just never read the fine print. A beat. The junior analyst leans forward, squinting at the screen. The metadata. It's time-stamped before the merger. Hart's team encrypted these files. Only he and Clara had access. Her voice drops. Until today. Adrian whirls on her. You're defending her? Julian's voice booms again. They're seeing the truth, Adrian. Something you refused to do. The footage shifts. Clara, weeks earlier, seated beside Julian in a dimly lit bunker. His voice cracks. She rebuilt the system after I died. She kept the company alive. And you? He leans closer to the camera. You spent your time making memes about her cardigan. Adrian lunges for the door. Security blocks his path. Clara finally stands. Her voice cuts through the chaos, quiet but sharp. You assumed I was beneath you because I didn't fight back. You humiliated me because you thought I couldn't destroy you. She steps toward Adrian, close enough to see the tremor in his hands. You were wrong. Julian's feed flickers. The video proof, the documents, the server logs, they're all uploaded. Every investor, every board member has them now. He smiles coldly. Your resignation is already drafted. All I need is your biometric confirmation. Adrian collapses into a chair. Eleanor nods to the door. Security drags him up, wrists cuffed. As the room empties, Clara pockets the flash drive, the same one Adrian mocked minutes ago. She glances at the security camera above the door. It blinks once, then the red light dies. The proof is no longer needed. The truth belongs to the world now. The room is silent except for the hum of the projector. Adrian's chair still sways where he was yanked away. Clara stands at the head of the table, fingers resting lightly on the flash drive. Then the screen flickers. Julian Hart's face reappears, sharp, unblinking. But this time, his gaze isn't on Adrian. It's on Clara. There's one more thing, he says. Clara nods. You know the rest? Julian's voice softens, almost reverent. No, they do. The screen splits. A new feed emerges. Clara's laptop cam paused mid-frame. The timestamp reads March 18th, 2023. 3 days before Adrian's first public jab at her. She's seated across from Julian in that same dimly lit bunker, her face calm. You're sure? Julian asks off camera. Clara's voice. They need to see who they really are. Julian. Even if they destroy themselves? Clara. Especially then. The footage ends. The junior analyst, still clutching her phone, whispers, You planned this? Clara finally speaks. Not the details, but the pattern? She shrugs. Predictable. Her eyes sweep the room. You all knew Adrian was cruel. You just thought his cruelty served you. She taps the table. I wanted to know who else was willing to participate. A murmur rises. Executives exchange glances. One man clears his throat. You're saying we were tested? Clara smiles, a thin, razor-edged thing. You passed the first part. Showing up here meant you were curious. But the real test was how you treated someone you thought was powerless. She pauses. Most of you failed. The junior analyst's voice cracks. Why? Clara steps toward her. Because systems rot when people assume the worst in others. I needed to know who could still see value in someone the world had already dismissed. She tilts her head. You hesitated before laughing. That hesitation matters. Julian's feed flickers again. Clara's been running this company in the shadows for years. She didn't need a title. She needed proof of who could be trusted to rebuild it. His eyes harden. Adrian was just the first domino. A woman in the back stands abruptly. You used us. Clara's gaze is steady. No, I revealed you. The security camera above the door blinks once, then goes dark. Clara turns to leave. Over her shoulder. Character isn't about position. It's about what you do when no one's watching. She pauses at the door. Funny thing is, I never cared about this room. The door closes behind her. Outside, the janitor she'd watched earlier mops the hallway. He straightens as she approaches. She hands him the flash drive. Time to clean house. The boardroom is silent, the air thick with the weight of what just unfolded. Adrian Cross is gone, dragged out, cuffs biting into his wrists, but the reckoning has only begun. Eleanor Voss steps forward, folder in hand. Her voice is steel. Names will be read. Consequences will be enforced. She flips open the file, pages rustling like thunder. Adrian Cross, immediate termination, forfeiture of equity, and a permanent ban from all affiliated companies. His legal team has been notified. She pauses. He'll spend the next decade explaining why he called the CTO a charity case on Twitter. A murmur ripples through the room. Eleanor continues. Marcus Lee. A mid-level executive stiffens. You forwarded Clara's private emails to Adrian under the guise of internal transparency. You're suspended pending investigation. Your login credentials have been revoked as of this morning. Marcus pales. But your replacement starts Monday. The junior analyst, who hesitated before laughing at Clara's humiliation, clutches her phone. Eleanor's gaze lands on her. Lena Park. Lena flinches. You didn't participate in the harassment, but you didn't stop it either. A beat. You'll retain your position with ethics training. Consider this a warning. Lena exhales, shaky. Eleanor turns to a woman in a crisp blazer, the one who slid the charity case napkin across the table. Rebecca Hayes, you orchestrated the social media campaign mocking Ms. Bennett. Effective immediately. You're fired. All platforms will receive a formal statement detailing your conduct. Your references? Burned. Rebecca opens her mouth to protest. Security steps forward. She goes quiet. Across the table, a developer mutters, "This is insane." Clara finally speaks. Is it? She steps toward him, calm as a blade. You retweeted a photo of me with a crown photoshopped on my head. You laughed when Adrian called me a ghost in a cubicle. Her voice hardens. But ghosts don't build billion-dollar infrastructures, you do. She gestures to the door. You're fired. And yes, the footage of your joke tweets is already in HR's inbox. The room empties fast. Chairs scrape. Heels click. One by one, the guilty flee or are removed. Only Clara, Eleanor, and the junior analyst remain. Clara turns to Lena. You hesitated. That hesitation matters. She slides a business card across the table. Come see me tomorrow. We're rebuilding the ethics board. I'll need people who can still feel shame. Lena nods, pocketing the card. Outside the glass walls, the janitor mops the hallway, unaware of the storm inside. Clara watches him, quiet. Then she turns to Eleanor. The rest of the list? Eleanor smiles. Already in motion, Clara glances at the security camera above the door. It blinks once, then goes dark. She leaves without another word. In the hallway, she stops beside the janitor. Time to clean house, she says, handing him the flash drive. He takes it, nods once. The mop swipes the floor, erasing footprints. A new era begins. Clara sits in her new office, her name etched on the door, sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. The same windows Adrian once claimed as his own. She doesn't smile. Victory isn't sweet when it tastes like vindication. It's bitter, necessary. Lena Park stands in the doorway clutching the business card Clara gave her. You're really offering me a seat on the ethics board? Her voice wavers. Clara nods. You hesitated before laughing. That hesitation proves you still have a conscience. She gestures to the chair across from her. We're rebuilding culture here. You in. Lena swallows hard, then sits. Outside the glass walls, the janitor mops the hallway. Clara watches him, his quiet dignity, his steady rhythm. She taps her desk, pulling up a personnel file. A few keystrokes, a promotion, a raise. The janitor pauses, phone buzzing in his pocket. He glances at the screen, blinks at the notification. Effective immediately. Senior Facilities Manager. Salary, $98,500. He looks up. Clara raises her hand in a small wave. He nods back. The security camera in the corner blinks red. Still, watching. still recording. But Clara no longer cares. The truth is already written. Later, she steps onto the rooftop terrace, city skyline sprawling before her. Eleanor joins her, holding 2 cups of coffee. "They'll rebuild," Eleanor says. "Some of them anyway." Clara sips hers, silent. "Do you regret it?" Eleanor asks. "No." Clara's voice is firm. "But I don't celebrate it either." She stares at the horizon. "They needed to see what they were. I just held up the mirror." Eleanor follows her gaze. "And now?" Clara exhales. "Now we build something that doesn't rot." She turns back toward the office, one final thought, lingering in the air. True character isn't revealed by power. It's revealed by how you treat those who have none. True character isn't revealed by wealth, power, or corner offices. It's revealed by how you treat the person you think has none. Clara's story isn't just about justice. It's about the quiet cruelty we ignore, the hierarchies we accept, and the people we dismiss because they don't fit our image of success. Before you scroll, ask yourself, who did you side with in that room? And who would you be in the next? Because stories like this don't just deserve to be seen. They deserve to change us. Share this. Let it linger. Let it matter. Your silence is the mirror. Your voice is the spark. What will you reveal?